Oh, we just picked up our rental car from the budget. We're gonna have it for the next week. We're heading out into the desert and to do some fun things and see some cool Berber desert villages and towns and such. We don't have a set schedule yet of what we're gonna do, but we kind of know where we're staying every night, and yeah, it's gonna be super fun. But first, we gotta navigate out of Marrakesh, and Marrakesh is a little crazy. So we got motorcycles and taxis and streets that sort of have lanes but not really, and 2-lane streets are really 3-lane streets. We're gonna get out of here and then we'll see you on the road. Stopped at this little roadside to get some food, and the waiter told us, like, pointed to 4 things on the menu, and we thought he was saying we I don't have these things, and so we ordered something else, and then we figured out he was saying those were the only 4 things he did have. But they're just so nice that he ran to the restaurant next door and got us chicken tagine, which is what we ordered. So I feel super bad, but they're just awesome. Sorry y'all, I'm recording on my phone today because it's just easier on the road, and I don't know where the GoPro is. It's buried somewhere, but this landscape is gorgeous. Like, it's desolate, but also so pretty. And yeah, there's all these little towns like dotting these just desert mountains, and then you'll have random pods of lush green and like olive fields, and we went by like a place where they had bees all out in the sun, like those boxes of beehives and stuff, and they local honey. So yeah, it's just really beautiful. And these towns are like, every town is like the same color as the sand, like the red, or the, not sand, like the, I guess it's sandstone that these mountains are made of. It's kind of the same, the towns are made in the same color, and it's just really beautiful. So when we checked out at the restaurant earlier, when we paid, they gave us a free thing of gum. It might be the worst gum I've ever had in my life. It's pepper, the taste is nice, but it's like zebra fruit stripes. What do they say? No.
Juicy fruit.
No, not juicy fruit. Juicy fruit's a different fruit.
Oh yeah, it is zebra. Zebra
Fruit stripes or whatever.
Yeah, zebra fruit.
Anyway, it's got like the longevity of zebra fruit stripes, but when you first put it in your mouth, it crumbles like into a bunch of different pieces. It's dry and hard, and then somehow it conglomerates back together and eventually forms a piece of gum. So weird. Never experienced anything like it. And then it's good for about 30 seconds, and then it starts to petrify, and by after a minute or so, it's hard as a rock. It's appropriately named.
Locking my beer was not
Flash.
the best thing.
We are in the UNESCO World Heritage Site, 1,000-year-old town called Ait Benhaddou. It's one of the oldest Kasbahs, one of the biggest, and it is a super famous filming location. So like Game of Thrones, Gladiator, Alexander, Lawrence of Arabia, all the way back to Lawrence of Arabia. Tons and tons of movies filmed out here, and it's just a stunning location. It's free to visit. We just paid like 10 dirhams, so $1 or €1, for parking to a little attendant on the side of the road. And there is a big official entrance to the city out front. The parking is higher there. You can skip that parking lot, park on the side of the road, pay 10 dirham to the little guy. And then there's not a lot to see here. There are a few private museums, but really you're just wandering to look at the old Kasbah, see the filming locations, climb up to the tippy top where there is like an awesome view of the surrounding Atlas Mountains and the desert. And yeah, so that's the plan. Let's go. Also, it's gonna be like 105 today, or it already is, so woohoo! You didn't strike a deal for your chacos?
Yeah, that was the first. I had a guy who really liked my chacos, and he wanted me to trade my chacos for something in there. And like, he's like, "Where do you get these? We're really good." And it's like, this is all I got. This is my footwear for right now. So
now I know it takes like being fixed up almost constantly, but like it's just amazing to me that an entire city built of like mud and rock and straw has been here for 1,000 years, just baking in the heat of the desert, and it's pretty amazing.
I'm out of breath. Must be elevation.
Elevation, super dry air, and then obviously, you know, we're way up in the triple digits. So, but yeah, we are in the Atlas Mountains, so the altitude is a little higher. But even just the last couple of days, been having like sinusy stuff because, and a headache and stuff, just because the air is so dry and hot. Okay, if I was a storekeeper here, I'd want this guy's store. It's nice and cool.
Yeah.
That's sort of scary if the tour guide's saying that you need to buy a scarf now so you're not too hot tomorrow, because they're going further into the desert tomorrow. Like, as if today and climbing this mountain wasn't hot enough. That's somewhat terrifying. Actually, it's really not that bad. The sun is fierce and you can feel it on your skin, but it's not like it's fine. Are you sure you don't want to sell your chacos?
Twice. 2 times in one day. Never had that happen. Somebody's offering to buy my shoes.
Chacos that are like 4 years old, and but yeah, the desert people apparently they really like a chaco. I don't blame them. Great walking shoe. Ugly as sin, but great shoe.
Fantastic.
Y'all, we are in the Moroccan desert now in a town called Ouarzazate. It is hot. Cause we are traveling the desert in August because we're insane people. Now, with that said, we are Arkansans, so playing outside in the hellish heat is just like part of our heritage. In fact, I talked to my niece last night. She's 11 and filled with sass in all the best ways. And I told her it was 105 here And she was like, so what? There was 108 here like 2 days ago. Like, okay, fair enough, you win. But like our apartment when we got here yesterday, I don't think they like cooled it off in time or whatever. And so last night was brutal. And like we went to the kitchen to get a plate to put our dinner on, and it was so hot that you couldn't touch it. It felt like it just came out of like the steam cycle of the dishwasher. And then this morning when we like both of us noticed, we opened our contacts cases to put our contacts in, and the water or the solution inside our case was hot, like hot to the touch. So it's like we had to let our contact cool off before we stuck it in our eyeball. So anyway, fun experiences in the Moroccan desert. And today we're going to be crazy people and go out and like tour some movie studios and stuff in the sun. So this pasty chick is like covered in a whole bottle of sunscreen. All right, Davis, what's your review?
You know, I've never toured a movie set before, and this was actually really interesting. There's a lot of cool movies that they shot here, and the props are, I mean, they're amazing to see. I mean, they just are. They're huge. And our tour guide was funny and took us around and gave us lots of information, and it was just it was a really good experience, yeah.
So this temple we're standing in is from a movie called Kundun, a Martin Scorsese film. It said it took like 3 months to build, and I think he said $27 million just for 5 minutes of shooting. They shipped in 300 people from Tibet because obviously the locals don't look Tibetan. But in a lot of the other movies that are filmed in the Middle East or Africa, they actually use people from the nearby village of Ouarzazate. And even our guide himself has been in like a ton of movies. He was in the Vikings, with the Bjorn scenes. He was in Game of Thrones as a soldier, Black Hawk Down as a soldier. He played a leper in one of the Jesus films. And so he saved all that till the end and then sprung it on us. But it's 80 dirhams a piece or $8 a piece to get in here. It is well worth it. My arm's getting tired of holding that. I would say if you got a different guide, it probably, you know, some of the older views, the guide was different apparently, and it was not worth it. But this guy was amazing. Reviews in the last year or so have been super high for the place, and it's well worth the tour money, especially the Egyptian part and the Tibetan part and some of the Middle Eastern scenes. I mean, just the number of movies that have been shot here is incredible. So 2 thumbs up. So he told us these Ferraris are specifically for the boom, because even Scorsese doesn't blow up real Ferraris. These were from the James Bond film, not a Scorsese film, but yeah, these are for the boom. All right, guys, so now we are inside the Tawrit Kasbah, which is inside the city of Ouarzazate. Gosh, that's so hard to say. Ouarzazate, and it is the largest Kasbah in all of Morocco, and it's really, really well taken care of. It's very, very beautiful from the outside, so let's take a wander. From what we can understand, this city, including Ouarzazate, was one of the major trading posts along the route, Silk Road route, and the other northern African routes, not the Silk Road, that goes further, but basically the Arabic trading route. And within the old Medinas, or the pedestrian market zones, there was a centralized place where you kept the really important goods, like the purple fabrics, the gold, the spices that were of high value, and that was inside the Kasbah. So the Kasbah is like the fortified central area where you keep the goods.
Rock the Kasbah. Rock the Kasbah. You can't see nothing up there. It's closed off.
I kind of hate that no one lives here. These big, beautiful houses. That's kind of sad. So across from the Todra Gorge is the Cinema Museum, and they have a lot more props and stuff that have been used in the movies locally, like smaller stuff. We figured since we've already done Atlas, we're gonna skip that, but if you're super interested in movies and you want to see some more props from like Cleopatra and such, it's right across over there. On further random reflections, Ouarzazate is very, very beautiful. Like, it's just a really beautiful city. That's all I have to say about that.
So now when I saw the cactus, all I could think about was my brother on a hiking trip with his kids, decided he's going to show his boys how to be a survivalist. And so he grabbed this cactus because it was smooth, didn't have the big spines on it, bites into it because this is how you get some water and nutrition, and bites into it, not realizing that there's a bunch of little bitty I guess thorns that's going to get it, micro needles. And so from the rest of the time on the trip, he had all in his hands, was burning, his mouth, his tongue was all burning. He said it took forever for him to kind of work out as he was hiking. He was miserable for the rest of the hike.
Good morning, people.
Morning.
So we are leaving Ouarzazate today, and we are driving into the desert farther to a town, or kind of through the mountains to a town called Tingir. It is supposed to be an incredible drive today. We're going to be driving through the Dades Gorge. It's supposed to be like this really incredible winding road with like more than 100 switchbacks and just epic views. And so yeah, we're super excited. We might get out and take some small walks if there's some that we can do pretty easily from the and just kind of photograph some of these like gorgeous desert towns. We've already passed one. It was just incredible.
Yeah.
It kind of makes me want to like go home and build a mud brick house. It's just awesome. Look at that fancy pour. Like a pro. trouble in the Dades Gorge. We've got a broken down vehicle. Now we've got 4 truck drivers who have stopped and are trying to figure out what to do. It's been broken down here for a while, but one guy can't get by, so he's had to stay. And now another one and his buddy just stopped to see if they could help get it started and going. So I don't think the guy who actually drives the truck was brave enough to try to back it up into this space over here, but then a new guy came along and he's like, I'll do it. This is so amusing. I've been watching this for like 30 minutes. Well, we have arrived here to the town of Benhaddou in the Atlas Mountains after just an incredibly beautiful drive. We had a place booked in the city. When we got there, it was our room didn't have air conditioning or Wi-Fi, and since we're using it to work for the next couple of days, those were kind of the 2 most important things to us. So we decided to pull out and go somewhere else. We were able to find something a last minute that is absolutely incredible. The guy's making us fresh mint tea now that he got out of his garden, and we are overlooking this incredible gorge and an old Kasbah and in an oasis, and couldn't ask for better. Well, we were on our way to get dinner, but then we met a new friend named Pfizer and he's making us tea. Okay! He's getting us some fresh mint from the garden, and you know, in Islamic culture, hospitality is a huge thing, and if you meet someone, you're supposed to offer them tea. It's an obligation. So now we're sitting on the road and we're gonna have some fresh tea, and we'll get dinner in a little bit. We've also been invited to the wedding ceremony that we heard earlier from the rooftop. Apparently it's this guy's brother, and so now we've been invited to the after party. So we went home, we got dressed in like the most appropriate wedding attire we have, which still isn't appropriate wedding attire, but you know, we tried. Don't have much that standard in our suitcase. And we piddled around for a while because we know that parties in this part of the world start a little late, so we wasted some time, and then we decided to go ahead and wander down about 10:30. We got down here and I'm like, I don't hear any music. And so we meet a guy, our friend that we met earlier. So he goes to take us to the party. He's working tonight. So he goes to take us to the party. And I was like, I don't hear any music. He goes, I don't think they have started yet. And I'm like, of course. Of course they haven't. It's after 10:30, but cool. Haven't even started yet. So the marriage ceremony was like in the afternoon. When we got here today, we could hear it from the rooftop and hear the music and the celebration inside the house. And then I guess in the evening when it cools off, that was for the family or whatever. That was the actual wedding. And then the after party is in the evening. Apparently the entire village will show up. Everybody's invited, even tourists are invited. So so anyway, it ought to be fun once it gets going. Oh, I hear music.
Something's happening.
done. It's now like 1:30 in the morning. We've spent the last 2 hours dancing and eating more couscous and wafers and cookies and mint tea and learning English with the kids and dancing some more and eating all the food that the beautiful hostesses kept giving to us and insisting that we eat. So, little detail. We found out. We met a beautiful man named Ayman who was a police officer nearby in one of the towns, but this is his hometown. And he was kind of our guide for the night because our friend that we met earlier today, Fazer, didn't show up. However, the brother of the groom had also invited us, and he was there mingling with us and making sure that we felt welcome, and we certainly did. But Ayman sat with us for a long time, and we had a little picnic outside with us and the kids and whomever else decided to gather out of curiosity. But we found out that like a couple of the other weddings we've been to in other countries, it's like a 2 to 3 day process. So today was the first day, I think today was the first day from what I understood. The women got together earlier in the day to do celebrating, and then there was a big parade tonight with the family that came up, and the whole town came. Like pretty much the whole town was invited for dancing and a big dinner. They did bring out some gifts, but the bride and the groom were not there. So it's like a party for the families and a party for the town, but the bride and the groom aren't invited or don't come. And then on like the third day, they actually have the marriage ceremony, and they go and get the bride, and they, have the ceremony, and they go off to the honeymoon chamber or whatever. So, so yeah, tonight was like the pre-festivity parties. So we didn't get to meet the bride, but we got to meet her sisters and the brother of the groom and that family, and they were just absolutely wonderful. We had the best time and hung out with some cute kiddos. And yeah, super fun. That's all I have to say about that. Davis, do you have anything to say about that?
This light in here is so yellow, and it's just making everything very yellow.
It's so bad. No, it was an absolute blast. We were trying to stay way back and just watch and respect what was going on in their ceremony, but the brother came and drug us into the middle of the dance circle, and it was like, dance. And so we danced for a long time, and people started joining in. That was the fun part. Finally, everybody else started to kind of jump in, and I could tell people they didn't want to dance, and because you didn't see much of it happen before either, but then they all came out and had a great time. And then in their hospitality, they wouldn't let us go without having some couscous and some snacks and some tea. But they were super friendly, and everybody we've met in this town so far has been really nice, saying hi, or trying to figure out what language we speak so they can say hi to us. But no, it was a great night. Yeah.
We did it.
Did what?
Found a way to this Oasis garden.
I need a bushwhacker.
Bushwhacker. I keep losing Abby every 2 seconds because she's got to take. Oh, sorry, got very close. I'm losing Abby every 2 seconds because she's got to take 26 pictures. So we tried to stay along the river, and we were just bushwhacking, ducking through the weeds, realizing that we should have turned up and walked on the path, which is a lot easier.
We just didn't see the path.
We just didn't see the path. So we asked some kids and they pointed us the right direction.
This town has the friendliest people ever. That lady was just going down to do her laundry, get some water, but she escorted us like most of the way and then gave us directions. I don't speak French very well or at all, but I think we got it.
This looks more promising.
Alright, so this is Todra Gorge. We did not expect there to be this many people here, but this place, we also did not expect this place to be this. Oh my goodness. It is gorgeous and amazing, and I can't even describe how tall these bluffs are. And you can't catch it on camera, but it is like jaw-droppingly pretty, and it's just awe-inspiring. The cars, you know, the cars is the thing, but it's a road that goes through this gorge, so there's not really much you can do about it. But it is Saturday evening and, you know, middle of summer break, so all the kids are out swimming, people are camping, parents are hanging out in the water, there's horseback riding in the water, there's rock climbing over here, there's a few trails that you can scramble up, and from our riad there is this gorgeous walk through like this palm tree, lush green oasis until you get up here to the gorge. So there's a bunch of cafes along the gorge, little coffee shops and fast food shops and food trucks, and it's just pretty awesome.
Stay tuned for our next and final video on the best places to visit in Morocco. We saved the best for last with our favorite stop, the Sahara Desert town of Merzouga.